You know what time it is.
How it all works.
Come on.
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 What's good, family? It's always good to be back. Always good to be here with you on a Monday. Yes, on a Monday. Listen, fam, last week's show was phenomenal. If you were here last week, let me know in the comments. Hey, and right now, take a second, share the stream, get other people in here, have a conversation amongst yourselves. I am also in the comments with you because this is a pre-recorded show today. I'm recording this in the middle of the week so that we can have this same time together on Mondays, even though I am on Dauphin Island, I believe it is, with a bunch of seventh graders, and we're having a blast out here. But I am definitely in the comments with you. So if you see my name pop up, it's because I'm in the comments with y'all. I wanted to put that out there right at the beginning so that there's no pretense. Yes, we're pushing this live, and maybe on one of my other live shows, you can ask me how we did this, but this is a pre-recording, and we are excited about what we're going to dive in today. The power of home studio, the power of online video, the power of rave reviews. And these are guests that we pulled in for our podcast, right? So if you're not following the podcast, you probably have never heard these guests before. But if you are following the podcast, even still, one of these guests, their podcast has not been released yet. So we are giving you a sneak peek of that. I'm telling you, a phenomenal guest, Junaid Ahmed, Stephanie Liu, and of course, my guy, Kevin Kolbe. We're excited about all of it. And even with that, even in a pre-recording, we are still going to get into the news. So let's get into it. I want to showcase some of the things that we have on our site. Right here. This is our site right here, y'all. Howitallworks.com. You know, I'm going to say this literally every week, right? HOWITALLWERKS.com. And if you go there, you'll be able to see these items on there. Of course, today's live show is on the site, the power and impact of a home studio, online video, and rave reviews. Okay, so that's there. The second one, I have to pause and highlight, y'all. Like, if you have not caught the vlog from this past Thursday, right? This vlog was released this past Thursday. My family and I got a chance to be background actors on The Chosen. My family and I'm repeating, got a chance to be background actors on The Chosen. If you're not familiar with The Chosen, it's the first multi-season series, video production series, a TV series, even though it's not on TV, that covers the life of Jesus Christ and his disciples. It is phenomenal. It has taken the world by storm. I would challenge you to check out the video, check out, of course, our vlog and the experience of meeting the actors and all the different things, being background, but also make sure you check out The Chosen. I want to make sure that you guys get a chance to check that out as well. Of course, our Amazon live show, they are there. So definitely check that out. The family is starting to join me a little bit on Amazon. So excited about that, y'all. Excited about that. We got a smart vacuum. We actually have to redo this video because after we finished unboxing the Tenneco smart vacuum, we actually learned way more about it. And so we're going to have to redo that thing to share with people the true benefits of the joint. And as I mentioned before, How It All Works podcast, right? How It All Works Convos Call Lives podcast. This is the episode right here with Stephanie Liu, how to secure great reviews. Listen, check out the podcast. We're only going to be playing small clips from all three podcasts in today's show. But I hope that wets your whistle a little bit to be able to know, like, there's something more here. I definitely need to check this out. And with that said, let's get into the news.
Your number one source for live video news.
I love that music. I just love that music. Listen. Mark your calendars. Next week, November 21st, a week from today, a week from when you're watching this right now, Luria Petrucci from Livestream Pros is going to be my guest, and we're going to be talking about how to build a business from content. How to build a business from content. This is going to be our last guest, I think, for the year. For the month of December, I've got a solo series that I'm going to be working on, but this is going to be our last guest, I believe, for the year. And this could not think of a better way to close this thing out. Luria Petrucci is somebody that I've followed for years, and I just want to make sure you guys, listen, fam, you're going to want to make sure you are a part of this thing. Oh my goodness, she always brings a ton of value. It's my first time having her as a guest. Followed her. I've probably, as far as content creators go, I've followed Luria longer than I have even known that the term content creator was a thing. So I'm excited to have her on the show. I know she's going to bring a ton of value. If you know her, you know that we literally exist in the same lanes. So I'm excited about this. Definitely make sure you mark your calendars for next week so you can come hang out with myself and Luria. It's going to be awesome. Of course, there is news. And so StreamYard has lost no steps. They released local recording. Okay, what does that mean? This is basically what Riverside does. This allows you to record locally on your guest's computer and on your computer, and it uploads after the fact a clean, pristine copy. And then you have that clean copy to be able to take and repurpose and do all the things. This feature, coupled with the video trimming, video splitting feature that they just released, that I just did a video on, this is the match made in heaven, y'all. Look for a video coming out on this pretty soon. Local recording is a game changer. And I've also got another video coming out on how to do dark mode with StreamYard. So keep those in mind. StreamYard is wasting no time out in these streets. I always like to include a YouTube update. YouTube is launching enhanced shorts, an enhanced shorts viewing experience for connected TVs. So if you have the YouTube app on your TV, which most of you, like, raise your hand if you don't, because we need to get you a new TV. But if you have the YouTube app on your TV, this screenshot that you see next to me is an example of what that shorts experience is going to look like. You'll be able to like and do emojis and different things right from your TV app. So the reason why I share this isn't so much because it's like, oh, okay, cool, we can watch shorts on our TV, because I want people to understand in terms of online video, what is happening, the trajectory. Vertical video is here to stay. Vertical video is here to stay. Let me say that again. Vertical video is here to stay. And YouTube is even making it possible for us to consume shorts on our big screen TVs. Think about that shift that's happening, and think about how YouTube is uniquely poised to be able to take advantage of this. Like no other platform is uniquely poised to take advantage of this like YouTube is. So the fact that they're rolling this out, it signals to the rest of us who are content creators, signals to the rest of us who are live streamers, or whatever term you want to use for yourself. This might be something to consider. This may be something to consider. I think it's going to take off. I think it's going to be big. Let me know in the comments what you think about it as well. YouTube is always pushing the envelope. Elgato has a 4K 60 FPS camera, their Facecam Pro. 60 frames per second, 4K. 60 frames per second, 4K. Elgato, what are you doing to us? So this is I just took a screenshot of this. This is great. I'm excited about what they're doing with this in this space. Elgato has really stayed in their lane. They really have been laser focused on the streamer, whether you're a gamer, whether you're a live show host, whatever. But they've made tools, utilities, functionality that is specific to the streamer. And here is yet another offering in their product lineup that I think is, as you pair it up with everything else. I mean, I went to a friend's studio who lives in a different state. He has nothing but Elgato equipment. Like nothing but Elgato equipment, y'all. So that is crazy. I think it's something to be said. Elgato lights, Elgato Stream Deck, Elgato Elgato capture card, Elgato what's the other one? The pedal. The man has everything Elgato, and he has his Elgato face cam. He's got the XLR mic. He has the Elgato Wave. There is a whole lineup. Elgato has really set themselves up right in that lane. And what they've done is they've ensured that whatever they put out, they put their name on it, and there is a level of quality that we attach to it as well. So wanted to make sure that we get a chance to highlight what Elgato is doing in this space. Now, I almost want to just pause. I want to say that this is a device that I have just recently purchased. I will be doing some videos on this. Look for this in my Amazon Live stuff. The ACC Soon CMO HDMI USB-C capture card. This is a capture card for your phone, y'all. Oh my. Y'all should be going nuts in the chat right now. I know if I'm in the comment section as well, I'm probably going nuts. It's like, this is a capture card for your phone. Like a couple weeks ago, we talked about YOLO putting out this device that allows you to stream directly to platforms like Instagram and TikTok. That device does everything all in one. This device, however, it adds onto your phone. Think about this. You can take your DSLR camera, plug it into this device, which this device is plugged into your phone, and now your phone will stream to TikTok. Your phone will stream to Instagram. Your phone can stream to YouTube, and you have a high quality camera attached. Y'all don't believe what I have to say. So because you don't believe what I have to say, I'm going to pull up this video real quick. I took a screen grab of the video from their product page. So you see that loading there. This is what it looks like. That's the phone. That's the ACC Soon. This is it on a monopod, streaming to the different platforms, y'all. Streaming like What? Okay, look at it. Look at it. All right, here, you're getting a better view of it here now. All right, so this is what the device looks like. It takes that Sony NPF battery. You have your phone, you put it on that side of it. That battery, you put it on that side of it. You can see what that looks like. And then we're basically done. You can plug your camera directly into the ACC Soon video capture card. And now this video is from the camera into the device. What is happening? What is happening? What is going on in the world? I am absolutely blown away with what we can possibly look. That's the example right there of them doing something and posting it directly to Instagram. And then you can take that off, put it on another rig, if you will, same NPF battery, put in your iPad, and now you have that look and feel as well. This is bananas. I'm gonna stop. This is just absolutely crazy, right? I mean, talk to me in the comments. What can you do with this? I'm sorry, I'm taking more time on the news than I normally do, but this thing blew me away. This thing blew me away. Oh my word! I can't wait for this thing to show up so that I can test it out. Look for some of that content on my Amazon Live page. Oh, fam, listen, we're going to dive right into what we came to do today, the power of home studio, online video, and reviews, the power of all of it. And we're excited to be able to dive into that in just a second. Let's go. All right. I'm back. And I am excited about what we're going to dive into today. Listen, the power of home studio, the power of online reviews, rave reviews, good reviews. There's a difference here. I always want to make sure I differentiate. Word of mouth is powerful, but word of mouth will get you in trouble. There's two sides to that thing. So understanding how we can harness the power of word of mouth is critical. I mean, in the podcast episode with Junaid Ahmed, which is the first clip that we're going to dive into in just a second, I talk with him about the power of home studio. We talk about all kinds of different things. It's a really cool conversation. I hope you guys go ahead and check out the podcast. But in this clip, he gives us the 3 things that a home studio can do for you. And we really hone in on the last one. And I want to come back and ask you some questions about that. But even as we get ready to go into it, let's start even now talking about in the comments, what is the benefit of having a home studio? What could you do? What excuses would be eliminated if you could walk into a space in your house and hit the record button? Like what would you not be able to say? Oh man, I had to set up the lights. My mic wasn't right. I borrowed this piece. But if you had a dedicated space, and I want to be clear, it doesn't have to be a full room. It could just be a corner of a room. I have seen several of those. I have actually helped people set up those corners. You could have just a corner of a room. In fact, I'm using a corner of this room right now for where I'm sitting. It's just the rest of it is also used and set up for a studio as well. But the idea is, what else could we do? So now from a content creator standpoint, yes, there's some benefits. We can almost immediately I wouldn't have those excuses. But what if I told you that my studio helped me to gain authority? My studio actually garnered me higher pay than my counterparts when I was a public speaker for an event. People actually come to my studio to use it because it's already set up. They come in, they hit record, they hit finish. I give them the video, they walk out. They pay me some money. What could you do with a home studio? Let's take a listen to this clip. What's one of the things that you know to be a benefit of home studios or studios in general that isn't something that we generally talk about? What would you put in that category?
Man, the first thing that came to me, and the more I worked at setting up my own studio, the more confidence I felt. Because think about it, right? When we go to parties, when we go to events, what do? We put on our best clothes. And I know how you were dressed when we went at Social Media Marketing World with that fly jacket. Come on, man.
Thank you.
So when you set up a studio, you're doing exactly that for yourself. People see you, they're like, okay, this guy, even if they haven't heard you speak, they'll think, this guy knows something. He spent some considerable amount of energy and attention to detail on how he looks on camera. So
very well said.
That's me getting confidence. They see the authority, like, okay, this is professional level Hollywood studio camera work right here.
Oh yeah.
Like I can't even see what's behind. There's a bunch of junk behind me, right? Because you put that perception of authority right there, and it makes them think and hold back. So you got the authority, you got the confidence, and the third thing, what is that? It builds your brand.
Love it. It becomes very much a part of your brand as well.
It's a part of your brand.
People will, and this is why I'm not a fan of green screens or virtual backgrounds, but people will resonate. They see you. I had a very good friend of mine. I actually do this a good amount, but the other people that have done this, they're not well known. So when you see their video and then they're in my studio, you're like, you probably wouldn't even see them. But the point is, this one friend, he's actually well known. And he was in town. He needed to record something. I said, yeah, come through and use the studio. So, and I have people do this from time to time. I have them come in and use the studio. And some of them pay a fee. But because this guy's a very close friend of mine, I just said, come in and use it, man. So he recorded this thing, posted it online. And people immediately started, especially because our friend groups are crossed, people immediately started typing like, hey, that looks like Kirk's studio. Hey, all right, this isn't how it all works. What am I looking at right now? And so it becomes, as I mentioned, it becomes part of your brand when you create an experience for your audience to be able to engage with you on camera. And there's a familiarity. I mean, if you think about your favorite TV shows growing up, I think of, this may not be my favorite, but what comes to mind immediately is the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and that set, right? That they created, that studio set, that studio home that they created for that show. It became part of our home as well, right? And it's almost like if you were to use that set for any other thing, we would know like, hey, what's looks like.
What's Seinfeld doing at
Bel-Air? There you go. So there's something to be said, and I don't think many people make that connection that what your studio setup looks like is actually a major function of your brand. Man, that was good. It's a major function of your brand. The way Junaid broke down some of those pieces. This is just a very small clip from the full podcast episode. So I want to make sure you guys get a chance to catch that. What I want to share here is we talked about this in the lead in the news. My family and I got a chance to go to the set of Chosen and actually be background actors. One of the things, as we were talking with them on set, I'm so glad I can talk about this stuff now, right? So I'm free now to talk about this stuff. But as we were talking to them, they built this whole, replica of Capernaum, to mimic that time frame. And they were talking about, longevity. They're like, even after the 6-7 seasons of Chosen are done, we want this to be here. As a place where people can use it to record content from that era, content from that time frame, content that covers that particular story. It's a studio. They themselves have benefited from this because in I think it's Utah. The Mormon Church has built this whole set of Jerusalem, and so for them it was like, we're not going to rebuild the wheel. we're going to go and use that set. What we will build is a different set that will have a totally different purpose. And so between the two sets, now you're going to, other creators coming behind them are going to have the benefit of utilizing these sets. I mean, of course, you're going to have to go through the proper channels and the different, get the proper approval. But the idea is, if you have a studio, you have a space that has been set up, and when it's set up, it's ready to go. Now, in the larger sense of, these TV stations in Hollywood, yes, there are studios that, like we said, with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I mean, well, if we saw Seinfeld on that set, we'd probably be like, what in the world's going on here? But this is from a broader sense, that's the impact of a studio. But from a more micro sense, in a more day-to-day sense, my studio is part of my brand. My studio, when I show up this way, people are like, "Oh, he's in his space. I'm used to seeing it like this." It makes them comfortable because your studio projects to everyone that is watching, we're at home. This is the space where we engage. This is where we do what we do. One of the things I absolutely love about, of course, being able to share my space as a producer, right? Bringing people in and having them record, because it's one touch. It's all set up. But then here's the other question. The clincher becomes, how do you get people to know about these services? It doesn't matter, right? I want to say this. In this clip with Stephanie Liu, we're going to be talking about the power of Rave Reviews for remote producers. Yeah, that's the specific thing. But if you just take remote producer off, you're gonna hear messaging, you're gonna hear principles, practices that you can employ regardless of your industry. Let's listen to that right now. Us as remote producers, one of the best ways that you can have not only repeat clients, but additional clients, more business, is for your clients to be your mouthpiece out there. And so I want Stephanie to take some time to talk about, how do you get clients to rave about you? How do you, I mean, what are some of the things? Is there a cheat code to it, or is it just a natural organic thing that happens?
Up, down, left, right, BA, star. For those of you that know,
I do know.
Heck yeah. Okay.
You gotta love it. You took me way
know.
back on that one. Oh my gosh.
So people look at me, they're like, how would you even know that? I'm like, I know, trust me.
I know.
Asian to Asian, it's all good.
That's our generation, right? This is what binds us.
That's true. So here's the thing, is that I find that most clients, when they come to you for live streaming or live shopping, if it's their first time doing it,
right,
they're looking for someone who can help build their confidence. Because they're fearful. They don't know what it is that they don't know. They don't want to be taken advantage of. And I find that if you're the type of person where you could take your client from where they felt that they were invisible, like, oh my God, I'm getting lost in the sea of sameness. And you could say, I'm going to give you the structure. So that way you can show up and sell and turn browsers into buyers. Now you're taking them from invisible to invincible. And it's that feeling of them wanting to have your brain on speed dial. And you're like, that is my go-to. That is my lifeline. And I find that you're more than just producing a live stream. You're more than just creating the run of show. You are their lifeline. You are their strategist. You're thinking about their business as a whole. And I think that's one of the value adds that I offer, is that, yes, I know live streaming. Yes, I know eCam and all that other jazz, but I also know marketing. I know how to repurpose content. I know how to tell stories. And when you offer that like a Swiss Army knife to your clients, that's when they start raving about you, because like, it's not just this, it's this and. Yeah, it's this and. And so when they realize what you're capable of, they're like, oh, now you're unstoppable. And that's one of the things that I think clients will rave about you. But if you go into this business, this game as like, I'm just going to be a scene switcher, by all means, like, respect, that's cool. You don't have to deal with, emotions or people lacking confidence and all that other stuff. But I find that when you're able to plant the seed of confidence in someone, Now there's all these opportunities that start to blossom, and they want you to be a part of that journey. And when you're a part of that journey, now you're building that legacy. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I do live streaming and Lights Camera Live is I choose projects that I feel like is going to have an impact on the world. You know, like you could be out there and like, okay, I could help you sell some t-shirts. But if you're out there and you're like trying to raise money for epilepsy or, you know, things like that that are impactful, I want to be a part of that journey for you. I want to be able to turn around and tell my daughter, like, baby girl, it's because of you that I started this live streaming production house. It's because of you that I got to work with NASA. It's because of you that I got to do this and that. And to me, that's much more impactful than, you know, like, yeah, you know, we sold this many shoes or whatever. I mean, that's cool.
It's
but,
cool.
but at the end of the day, I think if you could inspire the next wave of content creators to be confident on camera.
Wow.
I think there's going to be so much innovation in this world, because how many people do you know, Kirk? They have the best ideas, the best intentions, but they lack action because they lack the confidence. And I feel like confidence is like the combination lock that just empowers everything.
There's, this is a masterclass in and of itself. I hope that you guys are feverishly taking notes the way that I am. My. I almost didn't want the clip to end myself. I don't know if you saw there. I was not ready for her to be done talking. I was just completely riveted. Planting the seed of confidence in someone. Wow. Becoming their lifeline, their strategist. Many people will come to you, regardless of whatever your vocation is, and they will come to you for a service or a product, very transactional. But if you can plant a seed of confidence in them, especially understanding that as entrepreneurs, as business owners, service providers, you get to decide who you want to work with, and making sure that the people you are working with, their overarching goal is something that you resonate with. It allows you to do your best work. And when you do your best work, it inspires rave reviews. It's just that simple. When she said the seed of confidence, I was like, oh my gosh, that's it. I can't tell you how many times Kanika and I have had these sessions, my wife and I, who we run the business together. We've had these sessions with people, and it's like, you can see the light bulb go on in their head. Like, because of these two, I might be able to do this. Like, this dream that I've had in my head, it can become a reality. That's not something that people are looking for when they are picking a service provider. But when you provide it, they're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. I cannot help but to mention again here that Taina Nixon last week gave us the 3 C's of confidence, and it was stupid. If you didn't get a chance to check out that episode, make sure you go over to howitallworks.com, click on the watch button at the top, and it's going to bring you up all of our playlist of everything How It All Works related. You can watch that episode there. It should be the first or second one that's in that list. I'm telling you, you want to catch that, because confidence, when you can inspire and instill confidence in others, it is a cheat code to getting and ensuring that you have that 5-star rave review. The word of mouth machine is activated when you can inspire, planting the seed, oh, that's so good, of confidence in other people. I want you right now to kind of share in the chat how video has had impact in your life. Think about a video that has had impact in whatever shape, form, or fashion in your life. And while you're typing that, I'm going to type something as well, because I'm with you in the chat. While you're typing that, I want to catch this next video clip with Kevin Kolbe sharing 2 very personal experiences with video. Audience to kind of put in their mind all the different ways that video is used. And some of them are rudimentary. Some of them are just basic. Some of them are, you know, there's a little video playing on the gas pump, right? When you're pumping the gas, there's a little video playing there. But there's also, you know, videos that sneak up on you. You know, you're just swiping on TikTok and something really, just you didn't expect it, and it just completely overwhelms you, and you're like, what's going on?
Yeah.
The ability, the potential for that impact is why I think people like me and you do it. And I want you to be able to share some, one or two examples, whatever you have, whatever you're comfortable with folks in terms of the impact that video can have.
Yeah, there's two examples if you don't mind me sharing. So
Absolutely.
I did a video for this family. They had a little boy. So our youngest son has special needs. He has something called LGS, which stands for Lennox-Gastaut syndrome. And a family approached me through another acquaintance, and they wanted to do a fundraising video for our sons are similar, but he has something else different, and they were going to raise a lot of money, lot of money. And so I did a video for them. Beautiful little boy named Camden, just a sweetheart. And they launched it, and it wasn't long after she had launched it that I get this text, and she's like, somebody just donated $25,000. And she was just ecstatic. And she goes, I don't even know who this is. And so she did a screenshot, and I looked up the guy on Twitter, and he's some philanthropist. And supposedly he saw the video wherever she shared it and was so touched that he wrote a check for $25,000. And I'm like, wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I was in a position to create something that touched him, but even beyond that, to this family to be able to put, 25 grand into their goal. That's a good day at work, right?
That's a good day at work. In terms of, motivation and why I do what I do and, how I got to do it. This is the crux of it right here. I love that example. I'm just speechless, right? I'm just, wow.
The other video the other example I share a lot, and this is a personal story. So our little boy's name Elias, and a few years ago when he was in elementary school, he had a buddy named Max, and Max did safety patrol, and so our youngest son is in a wheelchair, and so Max wanted to actually work safety patrol so he could pretty much take care of Elias, push Elias in and everything like that. And I thought, wow, that was really cool.
That's nice, yeah.
And then somebody told me once that they were talking to him, and he's like, yeah, he's just a kid. He's just in a wheelchair. And they were the same age. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to do a video. And I only did a video just because I wanted to. I wanted to do a video about this cool kid befriending my cool kid. And I did it. It's called Max and Elias, and I shared it on my YouTube channel and shared it other places, and even joked that, we should be more like Max. And what was really cool is a friend of mine, so that I used to work with at a CBS station, works at CBS and saw the video because I think I shared it on Facebook. And I had CBS reach out and said, hey, a friend of yours shared the video. Would you mind if we got a copy of it and we could share it on our network? And I'm like, wow, that's fine. And so they did, and they also shared it within their network, within their website and everything. And it also goes to all their affiliates.
Yeah.
Well, that was a couple of years ago. The last time I looked, it has over 2 million views. I don't know how many comments. People are talking about Max. And then, because it's being shown all over the country, we would have people reach out to us and go, I think I just saw your son on a station like in Arkansas or wherever.
My word.
And then because he has some health things going on, we were in the hospital once. And this lady, one of the nurses kept looking at him. And she said, have I seen him on TV before? And I said, well, possibly. I said, there's a video I did, Max, and like, oh, that's him.
Wow.
But, the thing is, we talk about viral and stuff like that. If you look at the views on my YouTube channel, that video doesn't have that much, but it went way beyond what I ever dreamed of because somebody else saw it, said, hey, why don't we share it? And now Max and Elias's story, in fact, until recently, I don't know if it's still, if you go to Google and type in Max and Elias, I think it was either the first or the second video that popped up. Wow. And, who knows who will see that and go, wait a minute. that if a kid can treat another kid this way,
Yeah.
then maybe I can treat somebody that way, or it just
Yeah.
opened their eyes to, disabilities or something like
Yeah.
that. But again, look, Kirk, I'm not going to turn down a paycheck because I got a family to feed.
There you go.
But it's hard to top that.
Yeah.
It's just really hard to top that. And that's why when somebody says, on Twitter, what's your most personal video? Oh, well, that's easy. It's this one.
Yeah. This one.
Yeah.
I hope for those listening, I hope for those who are hanging out with us here today, you're plugging into the power of video.
Yep.
To the power of video, the opportunity of video. I want to say the opportunity. That's a great rephrasing, because it is what you make of it. I can tell you, after that show, after we finished recording that, I went and Googled Max and Elias, and it is the number 2, like the second thing that came up. The second thing that came up. There's another thing that I want to share here in terms of that clip with Kevin that just stood out to me, and that was $25,000 donation based on the video. I'm going to get back to that in just a second. Last week, I keep coming back to this episode with Taina, where we're talking about confidence, and we're talking about social media and being successful and developing a brand. And one of the things that we talked about in that episode was the power of the share, the power of sharing. And it doesn't have to be viral it doesn't have to be something that you're like, oh, let me go ahead and share this. People are going to laugh. If something is impactful to you, right? We're putting stuff in the comments right now in terms of videos that have really hit you, like square in your chest or right between the eyes, videos that have like really summed up something for you. Just boom, like that video was pivotal. My follow-up question was, what did you do after you saw the video? Did you share it? In these stories, the thing that is the binding factor is that they were shared. And I don't want to gloss over the fact that the power of video is truly the opportunity of video, because it is what you make of it. And that's the part that's active. That's the part that is on us. What will I do? What will I do? One of the things that I want to come back to, and we're getting ready to land the plane. I recognize I don't want to do the full hour because it's a pre-record, but that video that he did with Camden, and the gentleman or the philanthropist donated $25,000. There's something, that video, that whole story just kind of brought something out to me. It was like, what was the difference? Like, how are you making these videos that are having that level, that type of impact? And when I asked that question to Kevin, his response was, the video has to sometimes show you what the story is. I want to say it one more time. The video has to show you what the story is. I want you to hear Kevin to say it.
Yep.
It's what you make of it. I think, one of the things I would love to dive deeper on is just kind of like, what was the mindset? I mean, even as you were deciding, you know what, man, let's make that video. Of course, yeah. we can almost extrapolate, that it came from a place of, just seeing this genuine kindness. Yeah. And the mindset of this child that says, he's just like me, he's just in a wheelchair. Yeah. And there's just something there. There's just something so simple and human that's there that you just say, wow, I've got to capture that.
Well, and something happened in the shooting of the video and the editing. And I think if anybody's listening to this and they're just beginning or they're going to, the lesson is, and this sounds weird, Kirk, you're going to know where I'm coming from, but sometimes the video has to show you what the story is. Oh. And I remember I interviewed, Max and his mom and a couple of the teachers. And one of the teachers, after I interviewed him, I got home and I told my wife and I said, it was the worst interview I've ever done. She goes, why? I said, he just didn't really have anything to add and say. So I thought, until I was editing. And I always there's actually two things I do. I pray before I edit, and then I always let the edit kind of take me in a direction, right?
Right.
And ironically, this teacher who I didn't think really had much to add to the interview had the last line in the video, which was the exclamation to the story. Because I listened to it back in a different lens. And I was like, wow. So my lesson for that is don't get so rigid in what you think the story may be, because it may be something else.
Oh, wow. My God. Oh my goodness. One of the things that, our last, so last week we had Taina on, and she talked about being unapologetically a person of faith and a believer in Jesus Christ. And she, even to the point where she's like, if somebody, a coaching client approaches her and they're not a believer, she's like, I love you, but I can't teach you. I can't coach you, because that's the crux of what I have to offer you is this faith piece. And one of the things I just love about Kevin is that he just wears it on his sleeve as well. It's always out there for the world to see, like he's a believer. And the way he framed that up, I mean, we're talking about the power and the impact of, yes, a home studio and being able to get those rave reviews, from making sure you set yourself up in a place where you can plant that seed of confidence, but also that you are doing your best work because the work that you're doing is resonating with your own core value. And then, of course, we landed on the power of video. And here Kevin Kolbe is sharing with us that sometimes the video has to show you what the story is. In fact, he shares with us that we shouldn't get so rigid in what we think the story may be, because it could possibly be something else. Even in the edit, sometimes we have to leave room for this story to evolve. This is truly not the power of video. And some of you are thinking, okay, we thought you were going to talk about it from the impact perspective, like once the video is done and it's out there and how we can impact people. But I'm also talking about it from the perspective of the creator, that you will create a video that you don't know what the end product will be yet until you decide to create. A home studio will enable you to have no excuses to create. Understanding that value proposition that you have and those core beliefs that allow you to do your best work on behalf of a client, that will get you the rave reviews, that will give you the platform and the opportunities to definitely do that work. But it is in the decision of creating, and in this case, video, that we go on this unintended journey, this adventure to understand what this end product will be. I really hope that resonates with you. I hope that, somewhere in our time together today, you were able to really put all those pieces together. Fam, these are clips from 3 specific podcast episodes. I hope that you're following the podcast. HowItAllWorks.com, podcast tab at the top. Click the link. Follow, get it on Spotify, Google, Apple, wherever you want to watch or listen to podcasts. Get it. But these are just three small snippets of interviews that we are putting out in the podcast space. And we hope that you guys, there's special offers on each podcast. Like, that's a part of my questionnaire for each guest. What's your offer for the How It All Works audience? So there are offers that are specifically for you on those podcasts. And I want to make sure you guys are able to take advantage of them. But I cannot overstate this. Yes, definitely show up next week for how to build a business from content. Luria Petrucci is going to kill it. But I wanted to make sure we had this time together this week to kind of highlight the power and impact of having a studio. How do you get those rave reviews? How do we activate the word of mouth machine on our own behalf? And then, of course, the benefit and impact of online video. It's your boy, Kirk Nugent, the Geek Speaker Preacher. Excited for this time we're able to spend together. Excited for all of the rich content that you've put in the chat. Make sure you share. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you do all of the different things. Make sure you follow the podcast as well. But essentially, what we want to do in this space is create a catalog of resources that will get people across the line, that will help them to know and experience the impact and the power of video, and that they can plug in for their own purposes. that they can use it to share the story of their lives. They can share the business, the platform, the services, the products that they have been uniquely called to create. Or you can share it to just create community, to engage, to establish yourself as a thought leader, to create that steady stream of referral-based opportunities. This literally is how it all works, y'all. And we'll see you in the next video. Later, fam. We still here. Dealcasters, my people, man. Jim Fuse, Chris Stone. Listen, Replay Squad, you know what to do. Next videos are right over here. Like, comment, subscribe, y'all.